from the top. Greetings, everyone. I think I just hit my mic. Don't matter. Welcome to the second inaugural
Abuse.
Light Tree Club podcast. Listen, we've done this intro once, but you haven't seen it. This is the first time. Presto. I'm sorry.
That was technical issues.
We appreciate all of the support you guys showed for the first podcast. It was truly, and I do mean this, like, unexpected. So I really do appreciate it, guys. And I thank you guys for coming and joining us here on the second one. I guess as a quick reintroduction, now that you can see our faces and not just our voices, I'm David. Pleasure to meet you.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh.
What's up, guys? I'm Chris.
All right, bet. Now that we've been introduced, we're going right into it. Okay.
It's a lot of energy. You need to bring that down, okay?
Listen, bro, I do what I gotta do.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't like what you got to do.
No,
Stop doing
Had a
it.
lot of gumption, right?
You know what I'm saying? A lot of gumbo. But all right. So today, the topic of the podcast is purpose. So specifically, personal purpose, right? So I guess we'll jump right into the first question of what does purpose mean to each of you?
I'll take it.
Surprise.
Purpose, for me, means doing something that you are good at and that you are also fulfilled by doing. So an example, you want to be doing something that you like doing, but at the end of the day, for me, my purpose is something that fulfills me, that I feel useful doing, that I feel like I helped people. So yeah, simple, short, sweet, something that you're good at that fulfills you.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Josh?
I mean, I think that just kind of covers it all, too. I mean, when I think of purpose, I mean, I feel like you could take it one of two ways. You can get really spiritual into it, or you can just, like, personally how you resonate with it. And I think at the end of the day, like Chris said, it's just something you love to do, something you, like, wake up and you want to go do it, whether that's running, jumping, hiking, your job related, content creation, lawyer, firefighter, you like helping people, whatever it is, it's probably very general and you found a way to apply it. And when you apply it, I think that's the second part to Chris, is when you apply it and you get to apply it daily, you feel fulfilled and you feel like I'm doing what I love to do and I get to go do it and I get to share my skill or my purpose with other people, and it makes you happy because you get to share what makes you happy with others. And a lot of the times that's what gives us good memories, is like we're doing something we like to do and then we get to share it with others. And then if it's your purpose and you're really good at it, odds are like you're seeing people receive your purpose in whichever, like if it's helping people or if it's being really good at numbers or stuff like that, you're just helping and you're progressing along somewhere. So I don't know.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I guess I do have, a particular question for yours, Chris. What do you mean by fulfilled? Because I think that's going to be an important point.
So fulfilled, for me, I need to feel like I helped somebody, that I was of use,
Okay.
like for the greater good, not just for my own personal achievements.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
So it has to be, oh, I helped so-and-so with this, like say for when I was a college advisor, with this college application or with this financial aid. It was hard, right? Being a college advisor was very hard. But at the end of the day, looking back on those 3 years, it was very fulfilling because you impacted a lot of lives in ways I probably don't even recognize. But it's the little things on a day-to-day basis that really do make a difference. And like, I left that profession feeling fulfilled.
Okay.
I mean, because I felt like I did something for others.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. And I mean, I guess I'd assume then that fulfillment changes by person to person for sure.
So then would you say that was your passion,
No,
but you got fulfilled from it?
correct. That's why I said you got to be good at it and it's got to fulfill you. I didn't say you had to love it.
Okay. That's an interesting point. And I think a lot of people will find kind of a juxtaposition in that. Like they believe that their purpose has to be something they're passionate about.
I disagree. You can love the fulfillment, and that could be what drives you. It's even better when you love what you're doing, right? But I would say, like, it doesn't have to be a quote unquote dream job for you to feel fulfilled in that position or in your purpose in life, right? So I don't necessarily love, like what we mentioned, I don't love college advising. I loved helping people. That's the difference, right? I felt like I can be a better use in a different field, still help people and still be fulfilled in that manner. But regardless, I still felt fulfilled in college advising, probably just not as much as I would feel fulfilled in another area.
So then what you say in a nutshell, you can have passion for something you like to do. You can feel fulfilled in something you don't love to do, but you like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And in a perfect world, you're doing something you're passionate about and you're being fulfilled.
Yes.
That's the glory to
Yes. It's
the
like,
cup to reach,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah. Do something that you love to do and you're fulfilled by it. It's perfect. That should be your dream.
Now,
Whatever that is.
side note, would you say it's, I guess, would you say it's a negative thing or it's a bad thing if you didn't reach that, but you found both passion somewhere else, but you're fulfilled by what you're doing? Like that you haven't, so like, for example, let's say you're passionate about something, but
Okay.
it's not related to work.
Okay.
But when you go to work, you feel fulfilled and you like doing what you do. Would you say that then is like reaching?
The only reason why I would just the only thing that I would say with that like scenario is I would want to be fulfilled with what I'm doing as much as possible. Like in my job, I want to be fulfilled and love what I'm doing as much as possible, right? If I don't necessarily love it, I just like it, the fulfillment has to be really high. I have to feel really fulfilled. Like all these mornings, early mornings coming in, all these late nights, I despise it. But I'm fulfilled by it because of the gratitude you see from the students, right? That's it just outweighs it completely. I would go in early and stay late every day if I had to make that, to get that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense to me. And I think I completely agree. The fulfillment level needs to be far greater if the work you're doing does not if you're not passionate about it,
Mm-hmm.
it really has to fulfill you. And I guess that's interesting because is that true of the opposite? If you're very passionate about it, I guess by nature, if you're really passionate about something, it fulfills you in some way, right?
Correct. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I think it goes back to everyone's different definition of what fulfillment means. That was just my definition of fulfillment. You could really be passionate about something. It could really fulfill you personally. But under my quote unquote definition of fulfillment, it wouldn't mean anything because you're not like helping others, right? But that's that's what I feel my purpose is. And we're probably already going deeper and deeper into other questions, but that's what I personally feel what my purpose is. So that's why for me to be fulfilled, I had to be touching on that purpose.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
I mean, what he's saying has a good point, and like a good example of it is exactly what I do. Like I love helping people. I love social interactions. I'm a very good people person. I like working with people. Like you said, I like helping people. When I graduated from college, I wanted to be a college advisor. It's just my life took a different plan. And I jumped into the MBA, and that was a lot of fun for doing live entertainment and stuff. And like, I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. Never going to say I don't, but definitely like looking back on it now and like recently with all the like job issues and everything with 2020, knowing that like if I was a college advisor, like he said, making that kind of impact, like I like doing that kind of stuff. And like in my current job, I'm planning events, I'm doing this kind of stuff, which is a little similar to what you're doing there, minus the counseling portion of it. And that's a good example. Like I'm doing what I love to do. I'm not impacting as much people, and especially with Corona, and especially with like not having fans anywhere and like not being able to like access, like without the fans, like we can't do what we love to do. So it's like doing what I love to do. I'm not getting fully fulfilled by it. But that's a good example where it's like in another field, I would be doing what I love to do and being fully fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
For sure. I guess, okay, I guess
You can't just skip that.
Come on now.
I'm in. Okay, so
He wants to jump the ship. Next question.
I was about to say to wrap, like to put my portion in, all right? I guess in terms of what purpose is to me is definitely I like the simplification of it into two parts. I'm a lot for simplification. I like that stuff. Being fulfilled and being good at it. I think that's an interesting part.
Can I add to that the being good at it? You have to be good at it. You have that. I mean, or at least proficient, efficient in that. You can't just be a wasteless use of space. Oh, that sounds mean, but you know what I mean? Like, then you can be fulfilled all you want, but you ain't being productive, because it goes back to my definition of fulfillment, actually being helpful and useful. If you're not good at it, you're not helpful or useful.
But also,
You know what I mean? So
I hear you. I feel it.
in saying that, like what he's trying to say in nicer words, is like, I think whatever you're passionate about, whatever you find, you're going to be good at it.
yeah.
If you claim to be passionate about it, you want to be the best. You want to be better. You want to learn more. And even if you're not great at the beginning, you want to learn and
you
like
put in the work to be better.
You see other people like, oh, that's crazy. I love what you're doing. I'm gonna tweak this, tweak that, whatever, and try to get better. I mean, perfect examples like with your podcast things and like watching all the guys on the streamer. Like, you're not there. You like doing it, but you're like, I see what you're doing. I want to get on that level. And so I feel like you said, you'll get very good.
Yeah, I guess the way you can see it is like the passion's got to breed efficiency in that. Like, you want to be good at it at the end of the day. And if you're not where you want to be, that passion better drive you to get to where you want to be. So, like, this is very tailored to my definition of fulfillment. So it can be completely different for someone else.
But I mean, I'll hit you with the dime that I got hit with in college that messed me up, and which is why I'm in the field that I'm in. Is that, and I've told you this before, but like, passion or chasing money or whatever it is you want to will only take you so far. So it's like, if you got two doctors, for example, one that's chasing to make sure he gets 6 figures. When he gets to 6 figures and he's living comfortably and he likes it, he's good to go. And he's good at what he does. It's not that he's not, but somebody who's passionate and loves to help people and is going to be reading at night, is going to be pouring his heart and soul in, and he's going to get better and better. And they're like, hey, yo, we got another check. It's like, I don't care. I didn't get to what I want to get to. And everybody's going to be looking. I'm like, yo, you need to chill. It's like, what you mean? Like, this is what I'm good at. Like, I want to get better. Like, I'm not even the best because there's people dying every day. And so it's like, passion will always outweigh it. And that's what he's trying to say, is like, you'll always want to get better if that's something you're passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll definitely be days where you take like a dip and you're like, okay, I'm a little tired, but something will reinvigorate you if that is exactly what you love to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
We all get tired.
Okay. So basically, being good at it is sort of a passive byproduct of like actually being passionate about it.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm not trying to go in 1,000 circles, but does that mean that you then have to be passionate about it in order for it to be your purpose? Or can you be like just naturally good at something, not need to be passionate about it, but it fulfill you?
I would agree. I think they can be mutually exclusive. Like you don't have to necessarily be passionate to be good at something. What if LeBron was really good at basketball, but just really didn't care? I'm just that good, bro. I'm just that good. Like, and of course, he might not be the LeBron that we see today if he didn't have that passion, but you could still be really good at something. Above average, very above average, and just not have like a whole bunch of passion into it.
And I'm pretty sure you have this question somewhere on your docket, but it then goes into like, are you allowed to change your passion? And that's absolutely yeah. And so it's like, you can change your passion and you can grow another passion from the one you had before. And that's a good example.
Like, what if your passion was that? And then like you did it, you're good at it, you were fulfilled by it, and now your passion's like slowly changing. I think that's why you see people retire from basketball,
exactly,
football, other sports, aside from actually being physically injured and physically can't go anymore. But
yeah,
and
LeBron done with it.
LeBron's a good example. I mean, I'm not endorsing LeBron. He's great. I would have all his shoes, but and I don't know all the information on him or what he's doing or like socially whatever. But just seeing him, like, he's playing basketball at a very high level, he's taking care of his kids, but now he has that school that he opened up and all that kind of stuff, and he's pouring his assets into that, made that whole huge new facility, and he's like giving scholarships. So it's like, I'm pretty sure once he's done, he's still gonna play basketball with his kid and live through there, but he has another passion because he realized now because of that one he can help people and you can grow it. So I think your passion can definitely grow, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you constantly wanting to get better.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting, and that actually was not on the docket, and now it is going to be. And you change your purpose.
Absolutely.
But I guess to finish my answer there, Definitely something that brings you fulfillment. And I think it's a matter of, and maybe it's specific to my definition of fulfillment, but it's a matter of, okay, this is what I'm looking for. It needs to have a greater benefit to society.
Impact.
Yes. It may not be. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with that because obviously you can have your own personal purposes. If you want to make 100K a year, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
I
you.
think that's a goal.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a purpose.
That doesn't seem like
Okay,
a
it's
purpose.
a goal and not a purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's facts.
I was like, my purpose is to earn 100K and I'm dead. You can
It's like,
cut
what?
my cord at that point.
And like that's where you get the okay. I reached 6 figures and now I'm like so confused at what I'm doing.
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could lead to a lot of dissatisfaction with your career, profession, or whatever.
I
you
will say
thought
though, being
got you
devil's advocate to your point, I think once you get very good at your purpose, you will find a way to apply it. That it will become something that you can make an impact on society. Because for example, Kobe done played basketball years and years and years, and that's all he did. And like he helped the youth, and he definitely like donated and did all that kind of stuff. But that man played basketball. Rest in peace, rest in power. When he passed away, I read a tweet, and it will never leave my brain. Everybody thought he was gonna walk out of that helicopter like Superman. Like in the back of your mind, you could see that. Like a part of you could see that, and somebody said that, and if that was the news line, you'd be like, "That's Kobe." Like that's crazy.
It's true.
All he did was play basketball and work at it, and he impacted so many people, made so many people smile and happy from watching it, gave good memories. Like, so I think at some point your purpose, when you get good at it, when you figure it out, when you detail it, and you like keep striving to be better at it, you will find a way to impact, because you can't get better at it and do something, or like your brain at some point is going to want to get so good at it that it's like, okay, now I need to share this
Yeah.
because I can do it with other people. Or do
I-
it for.
I think like to keep going on like the Kobe thing, that's one in millions of people.
You're not wrong.
You know what I mean? And LeBron's the number 2 or
Yeah.
the next number 1 with that. But I would argue that there's a lot of people that feel like basketball, that when they're in the NBA, that's their purpose.
Mhm.
But I would disagree at how fulfilling or impactful it would
I
be
would.
for everybody else.
I agree.
Like only a handful of people are gonna really impact, make a greatest impact
Mm-hmm.
as Kobe did,
Yeah.
as LeBron does, as Jordan does, right?
I
And
agree. And
it's
that's
a different level of passion. We're talking about passion.
but that's a good point. Is like that's those boys' passion. Like that's why they get put in those GOAT conversations, because they did it. They're not doing it for nobody. They're doing it for themselves, and they're driving. And you watch them, and you're like, that's insane. And like you said, there's other guys in the NBA. They're still good. They're still playing. They're balling out. But it's like
Kobe passionate.
exactly.
That's
but that's
the question. Yeah.
and that's always a question.
Do you think their purpose was to be the greatest NBA player? Like,
I think
was
they
that really the purpose they chose for them?
I wouldn't say yes, but I wouldn't say that their purpose is to be an NBA player.
Okay.
Just maybe for them, maybe that, but I think there could be a higher thing that they could do.
I think that's a good example of finding something you're good at, but that doesn't mean it's your purpose. You can be
Yeah,
really good at it. You can be
exactly.
great at it. There's a bunch of players that were really good at it and really great, and just they're on championship teams, but nobody knows their name now. But they still balled out. They still get that respect.
I think they're truly satisfied or fulfilled when they move on from basketball.
Yeah.
And take that experience, take the capital that they gained from there, and do something greater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you see it.
I think that's when you get to apply it. I think that was something they're good at that helped them hopefully find a purpose. And if they haven't yet, then at the same time, like I know we're talking about purpose, but that's a hard thing to find, bro. It's harder than a needle in a haystack. It's like you didn't even throw the needle in the haystack. You're just looking through some hay.
It's an easy place to start is to see what you're good at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then see if you're truly passionate about that 1, 2, 3, how many areas you're good at, and go from there, man. Just run with it.
Yeah, and I think from things that you're good at, you
Let's
can.
not cut into. Hold up. Let's do it piece by piece. Y'all cutting into like all the questions.
Well, we
Yeah,
just
okay.
going at it. I know your
Y'all-
docket right
y'all going
here,
in.
bro.
Hey, I appreciate the conversation. Y'all keeping it popping.
I took the script from you in the room. I just
I gotta be able to cut it into multiple videos. You feel me? So let's stick to the categories.
nah, bro.
Okay. We'll stick to the category.
No, but it all makes sense, and ultimately, it kind of just goes right back into what I was talking about. Like you said, at some point they need to be able to apply it beyond the court, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like apply it to a social good. But I guess with that in mind, the conversation of all we have now divulged about purpose. What do you both believe your purpose is?
By the way, if you ever and whenever you do meet David, that is a question he's going to smack you in the face with
I
like a
swear to
racket.
God.
He will. He'll pop it on.
First day he meets you.
washing
What's
dishes,
your
just like,
purpose?
hey, yo, what's your
100%.
purpose?
Because I want to know if you've thought about it. It's an important question.
He will look at you like a grandpa that just judge you.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna be chilling.
Glasses down halfway. Like, what you doing? What you
Not
thinking?
sell a narrative.
But I would say my purpose is to help others and I say that because like of all my experience as a college advisor and even before then, like I always wanted to be an attorney, but I never had the answer to why. That was always the question that eluded me. And they always said, okay, when you go into law school, one of the questions on that's going to be why. Why do you want to be a lawyer? Why do you want to be in law school? I never had a good answer. I'm like, oh, I like it. It makes money. There you go. But what's up?
I was like, I got gumption. Write it down.
Like it matches my personality really well. I like it. Makes money. So it hit 3 things for me. And then boom, boom, boom. Okay. But that's not a why. I don't think that's not a good enough why, at least. But when I started when I started as a college advisor, I truly got a taste of what truly being fulfilled was, even in work that was truly hard. I can even argue work that you probably didn't want to do. But at the end of the day, you saw the results from it and how many people it impacted, how it impacted them. Even small things that, like what I said, I didn't even know impacted people in bigger, greater ways than I ever thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, that gave me my why. Like, okay, I'm truly here to help because I feel truly fulfilled when I feel I have helped others.
Mm.
So it just happens to be that college advising, I don't feel is the best area for me to help. I feel like I'm better used or more helpful in a certain different area, right? So
Yeah. But college advising helped you clarify.
understand that. Yes,
Okay.
clarify all that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. You, sir?
I think over the years, it went from like general and it got a little bit more fine tuned in college. And I guess I'll say this now, wherever you're going to throw it in the docket, but definitely has gotten a little bit more muddied with my profession and what I'm doing. And because we don't have fans and because the NBA and the NFL and all of that, like all fan facing entertainment isn't the same. So it's definitely got a little bit muddier. But I think from the get-go, my answer is always, I like to make people smile. And to put that more specifically is people who are having a bad day or you're having a rough moment or whatever, I like to take you out of that. And whether that's through comedy, whether through that's asking you how you're feeling, whether that's helping you with a problem or that you need to solve and something's frustrating you, or just being funny and just like having a bunch of energy. Like y'all know me, it's like I'm hopped up on Red Bull. And so like that's fun for me. I like pulling people away from their issues. Now, I will say that like we were talking about before, you learn how to like critique and make your purpose a little bit better. And before, a long time ago, I used to put all that weight on myself to take people away from those kind of issues or to make them have a better day. And it would definitely drain me. And so that's where little by little I learned like I can't take away those people's problems. I can help them. I can advise. I can cheer them up. I can make them laugh. We can go out for a movie and hang out and just chill and make them get away. But at the end of the day, they're going back to their lives, their stuff. And when I learned that, I figured it out a little bit better. That way I could take care of myself. But also, I was still happy that I was able to, like, for an hour, basketball games 3 hours, appearances are 30 minutes, walk into a kid's birthday party and just hang out with the mascot that I'm there with. And that was the best 30 minutes that I could give them at that moment and cheer them up. If that was my purpose in their life, I'm glad I could make them happy. And I've seen smiles and faces, and like, I've been a mascot for 8 years now. So sometimes people just really want to hug. Like, I know whenever we had that tragedy at UT and somebody passed away, we did this thing where Hookem was, he just gave out hugs on Speedway. Like, we just had a sign. He's like, yo, if you need a hug, because that week was tough. I think like 3 bad things happened that week, and it was just like terrible at UT. And like the amount of people that like came up and just wanted a hug, and they held me, and I'm just a fuzzy creature, but like I made that person's day just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that was a way that I was able to help people through entertainment, through being me, through being a character. And I've learned to tailor that here and there. So.
Got you. And you said that's being muddied kind of now because you aren't able to really interact with those people as much. They're the main driver of your purpose.
Not so much that they're the main driver, but now I don't get to interact with people. Now we're not allowed to, which, I mean, everybody like stay safe and do what you got to do, which like understandably, like there's no way we can get around it. It's just kind of waiting for it because we don't have fans in the arena. We have 25%. And I mean, you better believe like come January 1st, when the Spurs come back with fans, it'll be a lot of fun and we'll be able to interact because that's what we're good at. We putting on a show, getting people away from their homes. That way they can enjoy entertainment and like just have a good time kind of thing. So it's muddy because I can't do that right now. So it's like, is this something that's telling me to wait? Is this something telling me to maybe go somewhere else where I can constantly, like I told you, Chris was a college advisor, and that's what I wanted to do when I got out of college. That's why I was a history major, teaching route, that kind of way. So it's like, is this a whole like profession change where like, that's still my passion to help people. And like you said, it's fulfillment in a completely different way. So it's like, I'll still be able to interact, throw events for the kiddos when they, right at the end of the year, midway, congratulations, you got your scholarship stuff. So it's like, I don't know. And that's why like I harp so much on like, I think your passion can stay the same, but you can find different ways to apply that. Absolutely. And that's where like, I like that whole, especially being in the NBA. That's why I bring up LeBron and basketball players, because I'm around the dudes. LeBron is huge.
Thanks.
And well, because I've seen him up close and personal. That man scared the crap out of me. But yeah, like after basketball's done, he's gonna go do his thing, and that's not bad. Like he just found his purpose and he tailored it to something else, and it's still gonna make him happy and do that. So seeing that encourages me in like these weird times that like it's not over. I'm only 25. As long as I know what I love to do, I can find another way to apply it.
That's fair. It's fair. And okay, yeah, we're gonna cover that question next because that's a great segue. So ultimately, like if we summed it down to, I guess, a single sentence, yours is helping people. Is there like a specific way you would phrase that, or just like helping people in general? Like
in general, I just like being of use to people, like serving people. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And yours is bringing joy to people, happiness. Okay. All right, that's fair. I guess for me, I feel like my purpose is, and I guess I've written this down a lot in a lot of places, but my purpose is to unify the world through conversation and understanding. But I guess it's like, that's my own personal purpose, I guess, as a Christian, if I have to go there, right, is obviously to spread the word of God. But secondary for me, like that's what I want to do. I want to get people talking to each other and not screaming. And I want to get them to listen, not just like go by in passing. Listen to what the other person is saying. And I want to get them to understand the ever so important point that you can coexist with someone and like be cool with them without agreeing with everything they represent or stand for. Like it's okay to disagree on things. You can still dap it up. So I feel like that's my purpose overall. And I guess, yeah, in one sentence, then it's unifying people through conversation and understanding. But excellent points, fellows. Excellent points. That makes sense. And I guess we can, like I say, just go straight into that next question of, do you think people can alter their purpose? And I guess to add on to that, at what point did they decide to alter their purpose? Is it like only after the first purpose has been fulfilled, or can they have multiple purposes at a single time? Like, how do you think about that?
I think your purpose. I don't think your purpose changes so much. I think it maybe like gets a little tweak here and there, or grows another branch. Like if you want to, I'm looking at the tree, so I'm thinking of a tree. Like if you think of your purpose as like a tree, then like whatever it is and whatever you're rooted in, that's what you're gonna do. No, this is a really good analogy. Hold on, I'm gonna run with this. Hold on, let me put my shoes on. This is crazy. It just went through my head. But let's say whatever it is, you're rooted in it, right? And you're good, and you find different ways to your branches, right? Different ways to apply that purpose. So it's like I like making people happy. So like when we spend time with the family, I'm always throwing like big crazy stuff, like that stuff you see on TikTok. I play those games with the family. Like we had a really cool Christmas a couple years ago, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna want to do it again. And like it's just my family, but I'm making them happy. Like I'm that same person when I go home. I'm not a completely different person. Same thing with my friends, making sure y'all are happy. We're doing stuff y'all like to do. So it's like there's different ways to apply it. And so I think at some point, like, yes, you can switch it and take, like, for example, for me, for taking from the NBA and mascot and live entertainment to maybe one day the classroom or one day like college advising. And like, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I'd love it. And so I don't think it's so much your purpose. I think it's finding a different way to apply it. So you basically grow another tree.
Okay.
Or grow another branch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense. So you're really just not switching your purpose. You're just altering how you apply it to.
I think so. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm always going to want to make people happy. With energy, with passion, stuff like that. Like I love seeing people smile and be goofy and bring out like the best in themselves. So I'll just find a different way to do it.
Got you. Okay. What do you think about it, Chris?
I would agree that that's like a perfect way to say it. Just same purpose, different way to apply it. And to answer your question of when should you change it, I feel it truly is a very individualized question, right? So for me, I knew I wanted to change it because I felt I could be more fulfilled and more useful and therefore fulfill my purpose to a greater extent in a different area. So I knew that, yeah, this is still a branch of my tree, to use that same analogy, but it's not like that true core branch. Like these are one of the biggest branches on there. So
it's a little one.
It's just like one. Small. Yeah, like you know those big trees, they have like one little baby branch sticking
so
out
when
there.
you pull off and your parents hit you with when you didn't listen,
that one. Switch.
It's a
switch. Yeah, it's a switch. It's like it's one that they cut off and hit you with it. But yeah, that for me was when like okay, like this just gave more clarity to understand like okay, I need to build another branch here, a bigger, more useful, more substantive branch. So
got you. Okay, yeah, no, I agree with both your points. I think I think it's kind of in line with having a purpose that takes a long time and it's difficult to fulfill. You can't just you can switch it, but it takes a lot to want to completely alter your purpose in life. Like you can change how you apply it because the world is just full of opportunities for you to apply your purpose. So I think that falls right in line with that. And I guess in the grander scheme of things, like I said, I suppose you could alter your purpose, but I think it would have to be something that's like something life altering would need to happen to you to make you want to change it or make you, I guess at that point, incapable of performing the previous purpose that you had set for yourself.
I guess it'd be good to pick LeBron's brain. And like, just because we were using that analogy, because it's like, I don't even know how he would, like, if you ask him that question, how he would preface it with basketball. Like, does he just want to be the greatest basketball player? Like, does he want to achieve something or whatever? And so it's like, afterwards, when he goes and he works with those kids and stuff like that, like, what would he say his purpose is now? Like, is it the same thing or is it, I know he's applying it differently, but what it is, that's my mom speaking. What it is that he's applying, what it is, what it do.
Your mom's gonna see this.
She's gonna laugh. She all the time. What it is you want. Food.
I would say like you're like in this analogy of the roots are your purpose. I would say it's more like grass. Like the roots can grow so far out that they spur new grass. Like it'd be like a new tree coming out, but with the same purpose. Like it could be so deep and so impactful that you just build another tree. Like
Chris over here trying to be a whole forest. That's crazy.
it could be a whole forest. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's where you get really big, impactful people. That's where
Only
you get
you
the
can
big.
prevent forest
But
fires.
I'm trying to be. You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, the Light Tree Club. There you
You know
go.
what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna be full of trees.
Hey, when I was saying it,
There you
I've
go.
been
I'm
trying to
telling
say it
you.
earlier, but I didn't want to cut y'all off. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to give y'all a mascot, bro. It's what I do.
You kind of did your thing.
I did it. I told you I threw my shoes on and I ran with it. Whew, I'm all the way down the block.
But yeah. I mean, for it to like truly change, I would agree with David. It would have to be like a life altering
Yeah.
situation that would change you as a person to want to just completely change your purpose in life. But I think it can happen. Or if you just choose something else, it's something that just adds on top of it, or it's something that supplements that same purpose. So
Yeah, that's fair. I think kind of touching back on, I guess, how LeBron would think of things. I hate to keep using the basketball. Now. This ain't a sports podcast, y'all. I mean, but I think in general, like people who, I guess, athletes, let's use them for an analogy here, who are like world-class Hall of Famers now, right? When they first started, I can't see anything else being on their minds except I'm going to work my butt off and be the absolute best I can be.
yeah.
I don't feel like LeBron or Kobe were thinking like at the age of 18, 19 in the NBA thinking, oh man, I'm going to open a school or something when I get rich.
No.
It also comes with age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perspective. Yeah. New priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the purpose changed. Like, I think they honestly wanted to be as good as they could be at their chosen profession. And if they wanted to, in part, inspire other kids coming up behind them to actually work at that. Because I think that's what Kobe ended up doing. He wasn't just playing basketball. It was his work ethic that inspired so many people. Like, even if that wasn't his, like, decision, that ended up being his purpose, like inspiring other people through his immense work ethic. And so
this is crazy, but what if that was something they were very good at, and worked very hard at it to be very good, but at the end of the day, their purpose, they might not have even known it, was to inspire others. Like they were done so, like they're so good at it, and they're going to keep working that might be their personal goal. Maybe that was a goal. And the purpose behind it was to inspire others. Inspire others through this tenacity and this work ethic that I have. And that could be the purpose. So now when you're jumping over to the whole school and they're donating, they're helping, they're inspiring others by building off of what he already did, because they know his name, because now he has the capital to make a school and shoes and this and that and whatever and give back to the community. So it's like he did that. And like the same thing with Kobe, like he started making movies and like he started doing all this kind of stuff. So it's like, that's a very good example of like, he just has a very, very good work ethic and it's driven him. And that was maybe like goals that he set for himself. But at the end of the day, like the passion that was underneath it all at the end of the day was, you're going to be so good that you're going to inspire people. And there's not like more of like a higher power or like getting spirituality into it, but it's like deep down as a person, his was to inspire people. You were given the gifts and the talents and the goal, or like the work ethic to be able to inspire others. And it just so happened that he tapped into it and he freaking ran with it. And later on, as you grow with perspective and priorities, you realize, oh my God, I can inspire others. How do I do that?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, this kind of goes like a little bit darker, but I feel like a lot of people go through life never finding their purpose.
I agree.
I feel like they go through life either figuring out what they like to do, what they like to do and makes money, but they never truly tap into, this is my purpose. This is fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
This impacts. To be honest, I don't even see how a purpose does not impact others. Like, it's truly hard for me to think of a scenario where it's your purpose, but it does not impact anybody else.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It would be like, that's not a purpose, then it's just a goal.
Yeah, it's just what you're doing.
Yeah. So, it leads me to like this quote where it says like, there's the two biggest days in one's life. I don't know who said it, so whoever it was, whatever. Google it.
Give me a shout out.
It's the day you were born and the day you find out why. And that the why were you born? Why were you placed on this earth? a lot of people don't get to that. And that might be going like a little more spiritually, right? Like, why did God place you on this earth, bro? But regardless, take that out. Why are you on this earth? What are you doing? That's the biggest question. People just don't get there. And it's tough, right? So I think that should be a goal, your biggest goal, priority number one. Find the purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's fair. And I completely agree with the point of like, if it doesn't affect anyone else, it's probably not a purpose. Because I think even at the basis level, like, and this is honestly, this is probably the purpose of most people in the world, but also it's like, it's an incredibly important purpose. People who essentially work their butts off their whole life just to provide for the generations that will come after them. Like, they don't do anything that they're passionate about. And maybe the work isn't even the work itself that they're doing may not be particularly fulfilling for them, but building up, let's say, generational wealth, or you just making sure that the next generation has something to stand on. Like, pretty much all of the people came before us, right? Like, that is a purpose that at a base level at least affects your immediate family.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it can get any lesser than that in terms of purpose. But but obviously it's not a low purpose. I don't like to use the word lesser there. It is incredibly important, because we would not be here right now sitting at this table if it wasn't for them, as a fact. Shout out to you, mom, granddad, great-granddad, everybody.
We're going to be a minute. He's going to ramble it off.
Whole 200 people.
My 23 and me, pull up my ancestry. But no.
But yeah, that purpose should be, finding your purpose should be the number one goal. And if it ain't, I don't know what number one is. Or number two behind, like, getting closer to God. How about that? There you go.
There you go. And I mean, that actually flies right into the next topic, which is how important is it for a person to have purpose?
Very important. Number two on your all-time list.
Cross that right off the list.
Told you, we took the script from your room. We've been rolling with it. That's why we didn't wait for your questions.
It needs to be right there at the very top, because you will go through life just not being happy, or happy but not truly like
fulfilled,
satisfied and fulfilled. Yeah, like, it's a different level of happiness that will accompany that when you actually feel I'm doing something for everybody else. So I would say you would lead a more fruitful life once you get and know your purpose, once you touch into that. So,
and playing devil's advocate, I think that's a good way to preface it. Is like, you'll lead a more fruitful life. There's nothing wrong if you don't. Like, you're gonna be, like Chris said, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna do what you want to do. You're going to have those moments and memories to look back on, regrets and all that stuff. But I think, I wouldn't even know if to say that, I don't think purpose is a luxury, because it's definitely something everybody can attain, but it's how you attain it. And I think it's easier for some people to attain it than others. Like, if you have plenty of resources to go do what you want to do, or your parents were able to put you in a bunch of different like activities and you figured it out sooner, or like you hang around the right crowd, or if you're born into the right, like, not family and so to say like monetary, but like family that like wants you to strive to be better, wants you to like participate in things. So that's what I mean. Is like you're in a creative environment where you can do that. I think that's why some people find their purpose a little bit later than others, because they weren't exactly given all the tools to be able to do that or feel comfortable in searching for that. So I don't think at any time, if you're listening and watching, you're like, well, I haven't felt like I got close to it. What's like, well, maybe you just weren't able to, and that's totally fine. Like, that's nothing to knock into you. You didn't get to choose what you were born into or what you've been vibing to now. But there's never, I think adding this on, there's never a point where you can't start going for your passion, because you can at any point jump on it and be like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out starting today. I don't care what it's going to take. I want to figure it out. I want to do it. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. But I think it is definitely easier for some people at some points in their life to do it rather than others.
I like that, because it led me to think about, like, everyone. I'll take this back, that no one touches their purpose. I think everybody touches their purpose. I just don't think people like grab onto it and use it to its fullest potential. I think everyone, like, at the very surface level, just touches their purpose, but not everyone truly grabs it, uses it as fully as possible, right? So it's like a car, almost. Think about it. Like, you have a car. Everyone, or a lot of people, have a car, right? A lot of people use their car on a daily basis, but not everyone's gonna use their car at 100% max capacity, right? Which would be crazy. But, or also like this, another analogy that I was thinking of that I want to say is like I would probably like illustrate your purpose as like your voice. Everyone has a voice, but how far it reaches and how far it goes is truly on you. Because like there's a lot of people
That's a whole poem, my dog.
It's beautiful.
but,
It's fucking beautiful.
but like there's people out there that their voice will like hit the people just directly around them, and that truly should have been their purpose, to change those people, to impact those people directly in their household, in their community, whatever it may be. Some people it's going to be their state, the larger community. Some people it becomes nations and it's the globe, right? And that's few and far between. But it's just like seeing who you can impact and how you can impact them to benefit them.
Yeah. Okay. And when you say that everybody touches it, does that mean that everyone at some point is aware in some way that like this could be my purpose? Or is it like a passive, like they just happen to be going about life and in some way maybe they inspire somebody or something like that, but maybe they're not even aware that, oh man, that was...
I would say both. Both. Because some people, it might be that they're very aware of it, what their purpose is, that you just never grab a hold of it. Some people, it's just that they don't. They truly don't. But they probably skimmed it really quick, indirectly inspired somebody to do something, or did like some crazy thing that inspired 100 people. When their true goal in life or true purpose in life would have been to inspire 1 million people doing something similar. You know what I mean? But they just didn't realize that because they never pushed it. They never pressed the gas, boy.
And I'll add a third one to that option, is you found it and you weren't able to take advantage of it. Like I was saying before, you were put in an environment where other people didn't believe in you as much. And like that can do a lot on your psyche if you don't think you can make money doing it, if you don't think you can do this or that, whatever. Yeah. Same teacher that shout out to Dr. Moore from UT, because he done put all these gems in my brain. Hit you with another dime, because when I was coming out of college, or when I was coming out of high school, I want to be a psychologist at the very, like, and one of the teachers in high school was like, why are you going to be a psychologist? You can't make any money with that. And so like that right there is a perfect example of like not being in a productive environment. And that's not what I ended up doing anyway. But I wanted to listen to people and care about people. So I was trying to figure out where I was going. Right. But he hit me with the dime. And I think this was like on a senior high school trip. And like, we got to meet him for a little bit. And so he said, whatever it is you're good at, whatever you're passionate about, you're going to be so good at it, like we were saying before, that you're going to get better and get better and get better at it and strive to be the best. People will come find you because you're the best at what you do. So it doesn't matter if you make money, and that's why the people who are purposeful about it don't chase the money. They're going to find it. But going back to what I was saying originally is that some people find their passion, like Chris said, and they're not able to grab hold of it because they're not in a productive environment or a creative, constructive environment that will allow them to. It's like their mom doesn't believe, or like their family doesn't believe them. They don't have enough money to, because it's just out of reach or whatever. So,
and to like add on to that, this again, this is my personality, my way of thinking, but F them, like F that,
you're not
and
wrong.
F where you're at, bro. Like you can will yourself out of a lot of things. I think we underestimate how much willpower can go. When you truly hone into it and truly grasp that, you can make things happen out of nothing. You know what I mean? So no excuses. On my end, there's no excuses. If you want it to happen, make it happen. Find a way to make it happen. Don't live over here like, oh, mommy didn't give me this, daddy didn't give me that. There's a lot of people that don't have mommy and daddy giving them anything, and they're out here. So don't make that an excuse. Or I was in this environment. Like there's some things that are truly like impactful that are really stopping you from doing something, right? Like my community don't have internet. That's tougher. I get that, right? Like that's a barrier,
yeah.
a true barrier, right?
It's a whole wall.
Yeah, whole wall. You're correct. Yeah, it's a whole wall. Don't just make up an excuse though. If you live in a first world country, there's no excuse. There is no excuse. I don't want to hear nothing about I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of this support. No. Make it happen. Make it happen. You can make it happen, and you should.
He was spitting rhymes and bars out here. I hit you with another one. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond our measure, beyond wildest measure.
Incredible.
I love that. I love that saying. Like that gives me chills every once in a while when I read it or I hear it like on YouTube or something, and I'm just like, That's true because like we always. I feel like at the very end of the day, like in the back of our minds, we're afraid because we can do it. We just don't want to push and will through it, like Chris said. And I'll agree with him on that point. There are definitely some situations that are very tough, and I'm not going to yell it at you, but yes, you can will through it, and you can Shia LaBeouf it. Just do it.
I mean, like at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that
you can do it, and he supports you and loves you.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that like yes, indirectly, yes, you. But you can will stuff to happen. You can make it happen if you put your mind to it. But not only that, this goes back to purpose. By you fulfilling your purpose, you are indirectly showing others that they should do the same. That goes back to that quote. So, like, you have a duty to do that almost. Like
that's the rest of the quote.
Yeah. Duty.
Don't ask who am I to be great. Who are you not to, or something like that. I mean, but a good example of that, not basketball related, more TikTok related. I'm pretty sure some people have seen it here or there. There's that the one African American guy that he's on TikTok. He's a little bit younger. I think he's going to college. If you guys haven't seen him, he does transitions into like superheroes. He did like a Ben 10 one. I'll show it to y'all if y'all haven't seen it. But he blew up because he was just really passionate about like I think design and all that kind of stuff and just like animation. And sure enough, he made a TikTok and it's flawless. Like it's like I watched it like 15 times. It's beautiful and it's really cool. And he did it all himself. And like so many people blew it up and they just whatever. And he was like, I think he made a comment somewhere like, yeah, I'm going to school and I'm still deciding. And he got like college offers through social media. That was like, have you applied to us? Have you applied to us? Have you applied to our department? And he like, I don't know what kind of environment he's in or what kind of demographic background he's in either, but like he did it. He willed it. He got good at it. He found a platform and he put it out there. And like I said, if you are good at what you do, people will find you and come to you regardless. You push yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it in a weird sense, like I took that to heart whenever my professor told me that too, because that's technically how I got my job. Like for those people that don't know is like, I didn't apply to be for the Spurs. I never had an intro interview. Like I worked for them part-time, but like I didn't even have an interview for that. Like I was a mascot. The previous Coyote saw me and he was like, I want you to work for me and I want to like teach you little by little. It wasn't until I graduated college that I didn't know what I was going to do or like what path I was going to take. Literally got a call. It's like, hey, you want to come down here and work full time? Yeah, sure. When do I move? Now I got to look for an apartment. And literally that's all it was.
That's
like
how
it was
easy it comes.
That was a call. I was doing a part-time like high school cheer mascot training thingy, which I love to do. And so literally got a call while I was in training for that summer camp stuff. And they were like, I was like, I have this part-time job. I was like, well, when you're done with it, come down here. Like you're a part of the team now. Like literally just, and I'm a mascot. Like I'm not some CEO. I'm not some designer. I'm not some actor, whatever. I'm literally like a mascot assistant to an NBA mascot. Like, so if you are good at what you do, you love what you do, push yourself, make it your passion, or you'll find it that it's your passion and people will come and find you, period.
Yeah. First of all, isn't it freaking great when people call you out of the blue offering you a job?
It's amazing. I didn't know. And I was like, why is he calling me? Like, that's crazy. And that's because I was applying to go work for OKC and to go work in LA. And I got the call to go work in LA too. So it was like, but because the director from LA for the Clippers knew me from the Spurs and he had moved and he's like, I saw your resume. Yeah, come over here. And flew out to LA like 2 weeks later. I was like,
wow.
So I had like 3 job offers.
God dang.
I'm a mascot. So like if I will ever harp on anything, I love that David, I know I was harping on him that he like asked that questions out of the blue to people, but it's like definitely figured out what you like to do. Cause like I said, I've been a fuzzy creature for 8 years that literally doesn't speak to anybody. I dance, I goof off, and I make funny sounds. Like there you go, 2.
Incredible.
So
to add on to that, like perfect in line. When you know what your purpose is and you're good at it and you work at it, it's attractive. Whether that be like in a relationship or whether that be for a potential employer would definitely find that attractive in a potential employee, that they know what their purpose is in life and how they can use that in their job, in their company, and whatever, right? So knowing that can open a lot of doors. And he, number one example of that. Look at that. So
Simple field. It's a simple field.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you show passion and work hard for it, yeah, I mean, I was just, what was that? It was a Haikyuu episode. I was talking to you about, sorry guys, anime comment.
Really?
I was like, yeah, you work hard, you keep doing it, somebody's gonna see you. Even if
Oh, that one guy. Yeah. That one guy from that episode. We ain't gonna spoil nothing. Oh, I didn't watch Attack on Titan. I'm doing that in a little bit.
I did want to touch a little bit on something you guys said like 5 minutes ago about.
Okay, run back.
I just thought it was important about the Coach Carter quote actually spurred this thought
Oh yeah.
about the greatest fear being like us being so capable of so much, and also the whole question of like, who are you to not go out and do something with your life? You know, like one of my greatest fears is like one day waking up many years from now when I'm old and gray, having the regret of knowing I had the opportunity. And this is, I think this is key, knowing what I think my purpose is, like really knowing it, having a good idea, and then not pursuing it, and like letting my life pass without doing it. I would feel like just the thought of it makes my skin crawl. Like that is such a frightening thought, because it's like literally waking up when you're old and gray, can't do anything anymore, and knowing that you wasted your life. Like that is super scary to
some
me.
Benjamin Button stuff. Damn.
And I would add on to that, like I would put an asterisk to everything we just said. Like I think you did this already in the podcast, but your purpose can be very simple, and you might not even think of it as your purpose, but it could be very simple and still give you great fulfillment, right? There is full-time parents it fits into their purpose in life somehow, right? And like all props to them, right? That might not be their complete purpose, but that's definitely a big part of their purpose in life, to make sure that they raise their children right, make sure they're healthy, safe, and that they feel fulfilled later on. You know what I mean? So I think parenthood, just one thing, is one of the biggest purposes in life. Like if you are a parent, to be a true parent, to be there for your kids. And I think that and other things, they can be pretty simple, but yet so complex in the day-to-day things. But yeah, it could be something so small that's still purposeful and fulfilling.
I wholly agree with that. I think I say it every time. Like when I have a child, they will become my world.
The way you said it's so scary.
A whole helicopter parent. I'm gonna buy you the rotors right now. Just
I definitely.
You look like Inspector Gadget.
Like my purpose was what? Oh, this kid you said? Yeah, you're right. That's just fact.
I don't know if they're gonna be my whole world, but let me tell you, they're gonna be a big part of it.
To bring us back full circle, I guess I'll throw the full quote out there, because I know we keep referencing it, but it goes, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we're unconsciously give others permission to do the same.
Yeah.
As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And I think that's where you inspire others through your passion, because they're like, I want some of that. Whatever he's got, I want some of that. And I feel like people are sometimes too afraid to, because, and this is probably a good way to preface that, is that so many of the people in the community you're around immediately is afraid to do that and hasn't done that or hasn't reached out to do it. And that's not so much like because of everybody else, but I think that kind of helps and ties into like, not everybody in your immediate community has chased their passion. And if everybody keeps being afraid to, you're going to be afraid to too. Like there's no reason to. But you see one kid do it from your city, and then two more kids are like, "Oh, I can do it. That's crazy. Like let me go try that." So,
and I'll ask you guys this question: like, do you think that you should truly follow the community's advice, or like your community, whether that be your family or like your friends and family or just your city, whatever? Should you follow their advice, or should you like look elsewhere for assistance in pursuing your purpose?
Well, after watching Coco, the answer to that is forget your community's advice. Do your own thing. Play that music.
Coco's like
Steal
a
somebody's
two-sentence
guitar, commit a crime, go into the underworld.
Coco synopsis. There you go. Screw everything. Screw all that.
That is, it's difficult because I have to be like, all right, what's your purpose? Like, who is it benefiting? It's tough. It's tough. I think it's always good to get second opinion. Sure, like listen to your family, but also, and this is where I emphasize the importance of college, especially outside of your state if you can. Be like, go see other people who are way different.
Yeah.
Go talk to them, go get their perspective on things, and like see, like, all right, well, were my parents right, or do I now feel even more so like I should pursue this? You know? Yeah. So I think it depends. That definitely depends. But it's good to get a second opinion.
I mean, I agree with you. I feel like this is touching back on what we said. Just will it, even if other people around you aren't. Because, I mean, to take us, for example, like, we're from the bottom of Texas. If I told people around the U.S., like, I'm from the valley, like, at the bottom of Texas, they're like, where? I was like, you know where Mexico touches Texas at the very bottom? It looks kind of like right there, the bottom of that jalapeno. That's us right there.
They're going to be like, holla what?
And it's like, oh, well, never mind.
They're going to be like, what?
Like, and that's not to knock anybody from there, but it's like, it's definitely a lot harder, and it's definitely a community that, like, not many people leave. And when you do leave, like, you're kind of shunned when you come back and you didn't follow your passion, you didn't do what you did. Because it's like, oh, I see you tried to go do that stupid stuff that people like to try and do. Should have just stayed here. And so it's like, they're definitely those kind of people. And there's other people that push you and want you to do better. And that's great. And we definitely had a bunch of people that pursued us. But if we listened to everybody around us in that community, like, we would be, like it said before, like, we would not let ourselves shine. And that's doing an injustice to ourselves and other people behind us. I mean, I think then you have the rest of your family. I mean, Chris is a single child, or an only child, and I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and my sister followed me to college afterwards. Like, I'm first generation, never been to college before, or like nobody in my family. So it's like I paved that way. Even in my small little purpose for world, like, let's say I didn't finish college or I didn't get the job I wanted, I just came home. Like, she felt comfortable enough to go and try it on her own now because her brother had tried it or whatever. And so my other younger brother as well too. So
Just to clarify, I have a brother. I have a brother on top of it.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, the reason I asked that question is because from what I see, like, following my purpose, it's hard to look back and ask questions for people that really brought me up, that put me in the position I am now. I'm looking back and seeing, okay, dang, your resources here are limited. Like, now you have to expand, do some outreach, do some what's it called, networking, really get a hold of people that are doing what you want to do and take some advice from them. A good way to put it is like, if they're not doing what you're doing, why are you taking advice from them? And I was like, okay, bet. Well, at least in career.
I heard that one too.
At least in a career. At least in a career, not in a
I don't remember where I heard that one either.
But at the end of the day, like, I look back, I'm like, okay, how many people can I truly ask? Like, hey, what do I do here? Not a lot. And it's far and few between, like, in the valley. Like, and it's not in the valley per se. It's just like in my community in the valley. Like, I need to expand my community now. I need to start growing as a person, start networking with other people to truly fulfill my purpose. So that's why I asked that question. Like, when is that? Like, okay, I got to stop listening over here. Or maybe there's not stop listening, but I need to expand my resources to actually fulfill my purpose. And I think a teenager thing that comes through with that is you feel like your hometown is like, oh, dang. When I was in high school, I felt like the valley was quicksand, bro. If you don't leave, you're staying there. And to some extent, I still feel like that. But to some extent, I don't. Like, I look back and a lot of people live very fulfilling lives staying there. And more power to you if you can do that. But I don't know.
You wanted to expand more, like to clarify that
For
like,
my specific
like,
purposes,
like-
I had to
yeah.
go above and
wanted
beyond
to.
that. I could not stay there, right? And I think that's for some kids. I'm talking about kids, like when they're in that, like I want to do something more. I think that's how they feel in their hometown. Like, I just want to get out of here, bro. I just want to get out of here. I want to do something else. I want to leave the state, do something else, go to a different. I don't know.
No, that's how I felt.
Nah,
That's how you.
because I put the sneakers on and I was running with it. I'm gonna keep sprinting. It's kind of like water. So think of it that way. So you are that water. You're gonna constantly intake more and more and more. But let's say that community is a certain like whatever vase you want. Yeah, whatever cup you want. But you're gonna take more perspective, more knowledge, more whatever, and you can only fill so much before you start overflowing. And I think that's when you're like, yo, I need a new vase. I need a new glass, because just like Bruce Lee said, like it's so powerful because what? I jumped to it, bro. I told you I'm sprinting. I'm sprinting with it. No. But like it's super, like water is super powerful. Be water, because it takes the shape of its environment, and if you want to stay in that, that's totally fine. That is what it is. And like Chris said, you can live very fulfilling lives. But if you feel like you're overpouring and you feel your passion brewing up, and you just and it's spilling over, there's plenty of different cups to jump into. It's a big world. The ocean is huge, and so it's like it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're different shapes too. Rectangle, small, it's an oval, it's got a little loopy thing. Like, just do what you want to do. So I think a lot of times we get stuck in those and we can't expound, or we feel like that's as far as we can go. But it's like, you can break that, spill over, go into something else. So
And going like just to add on to that, like when you're a kid, I guess this is for me in particular. I was very. You feel like you know everything, but looking back, you're like, you ignorant mother. Like, you don't know everything, even though you feel like it, right? When you're a teen, no matter how much you want to tell yourself, "Oh, I know everything," or "I know enough," you don't.
That's when the world goes, you don't know nothing.
Yeah, and you become worse than that tree. You become like half that tree, get knocked over.
Well, I didn't have a saw, so I couldn't.
Yeah. But looking back, I definitely grew prouder of being, I guess, my culture in general. Because at first I was like, I remember this being like in elementary, because I knew Spanish was my first language when I was little, before I went to school. And then when I went to school, I lost Spanish entirely. And I remember my grandma and my mom saying, you need to learn Spanish. You need to learn Spanish. And going back, I really wish I would listen to them. Because now, in high school, in college, I was like, dang, you got to learn Spanish. You got to pick it up again, pick it up. And I know enough to have a conversation, but not enough as my parents and my grandparents, right? So I learned how unique it was leaving. You learn to appreciate where you come from by leaving. So like when I left to Austin, I'm like, oh dang, Spanish is like a secret language over here, bro. To some people, I can have a whole conversation with a person and not worry about anybody else hearing me. Like,
that's a fact.
And
I've been on the receiving end.
Pues es porque nunca quieres aprender, pero te estamos enseñando. Yo no sé por qué no entiendes.
Hey, somebody out there can understand you.
I know that's totally fine, and they're gonna be laughing because they're like, "Ooh, go ahead and click the SAP button. It'll translate it. I want subtitles under me."
But yeah, there's
like
I think you should appreciate where you come from, regardless. Like, learn to appreciate it. I think it definitely gives better perspective and clarity on achieving your purpose. Like, knowing where you come from definitely will help you grow, right?
You don't know what you got till you lose it.
That's true.
Go. Just throwing them all.
You go.
Bruce Lee.
Oh my God. But no, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, leaving and experiencing a diverse community. Because, like, I felt the same way. Boy, I wanted to get out of Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, where is that at?
Exactly. Listen, Mom, I love you, but I had to get up out of there.
He wasn't vibing. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom.
Nah, it was not a vibe. The old person vibe.
No matter
right
how
there.
good the turkeys are over there.
The food was good. The vibe was just.
It was off. It was killing mine. So going to Austin was like, you come with so many I don't know if it's ideologies, the things your parents imbue you with over the years of like, this is how you should live. This is what you should think about this, this, and this. And you go out there and everybody's got 1,000 different things that their parents told them, or they're like split off and they're thinking on their own already. And it's just like, whoa, okay, let me take this in. And all that, not to say that like all of a sudden you just throw out what you learned. I think more often than not, it's like, it shows you just how unique the mindset is that you came with was. Like, okay, you're doing all that. I'm not going to do that because like where I come from, like that's not going to fly. I'm not going to be about that. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it lets you, like you said, it causes you to value what you had before, but also that other side gives you perspective into like, okay, I could still tweak what I know and stretch out because I'm watching these people alter their lives doing things this way, and it's not particularly bad like I was taught to think, right? So
you should have seen when these two people finally met for the first time and their ideologies hit. It threw David for a loop. He didn't know what to do.
You make it sound like Chris was a vigilante.
I know, dog. What the heck? What kind of perspective you giving these people?
He wasn't a vigilante, but definitely like there was moments where David would look at us and he's like, why are you doing it like that? It's just completely different mindsets. Two different parts of Texas. Both Texas, but one south, one bottom, and we're just like
David.
Hey,
that's just David. I'm pretty sure there's some people in entire Texas think exactly like me. I'll tell you that.
It's facts. It's facts. He is not alone.
He's the oddball out.
See what I mean? See, right there. See what I mean? That's a perfect. And you telling me what kind of perspective I'll give you? Y'all put it on show.
What? What did I do?
Listen, you guys, we're going to come back with a Purpose Part 2. It'll be after Christmas. But I hope you enjoy what you got here. Once again, thank you guys for coming through and joining us. We love you very much. We appreciate all the support. You know what I'm saying? Leave a like, a subscribe if you feel so inclined, please. Josh, Chris.
Go ahead, hit us in the comments with what your purpose is, or I guess questions that you've had, or questions that you guys want us to answer too would be a good thing. Like, definitely want to open the conversation. Maybe there's something you're thinking about that we can touch on that we haven't before. So that'll be fun to do. Don't forget your Christmas shopping because I got to go do mine.
Yeah, I ain't looking forward to Christmas shopping.
In fact, I'm just giving my parents some money. Like, yeah, go get it. You got it.
You know what you want. You know what you want. I don't got to waste the time figuring out what you want. Or not.
Cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
All right, guys. Peace.